Hey you guys, this is Jack of Hats, and I want to do a video on one of my favorite attacks as of right now, and I am calling it GoValks because it has two primary components. It has one golem and a bunch of Valkyries, and there's a third component to it which can either be hogs or balloons. And because it's a sort of variable mix-up, I'm just gonna call it GoValks, and it sounds more hype that way too. And everybody loves hype. Let's be honest. In any case, instead of going on about what it's made up of and how you're supposed to do it, I'm just gonna show you a quick attack, and then. Because I did the attack twice this war, both of them were 3 stars, I'm going to show you the easy attack first so that you can see what they do. And then in the second attack against their 1, I'm going to show you how I did it, why I did it, how it works and why it works, and to show you that it works against max Town Hall 9s as well. Though his hero wasn't a 40/40, but neither was mine. So I'm not letting that cloud my vision. So the clan castle is not very centralized. They didn't really care too much for that in this war. Everybody knows what a CC kill looks like. Though they take more resources than they used to. I'm actually not mad about it. So we make a small funnel. Open it up. Once we're in there, the royals go down. Jump spell, redheads, all of the redheads. Queen dies immediately. The hogs go down. Heal goes down. And then everyone's just working through the base. I would add that one of the things that I like about this attack is how fast it is. We as a player base got spoiled by the 3.5 minute battle timers for a little bit, so I and everybody else have had to have a little bit of time to readjust. So it's hard again with the way that the clan troops try to. Now see, I'm gonna cut myself off. That last heal was entirely unnecessary. I could have gone for a disgrace heal, but this was the last attack of the war, and we needed every star we could. So I did not want to gamble with safety. But yeah, and the rest is just cleanup. Fun. Oh, wow, I don't know about you. I had fun. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to look like. Why does it work? How does it work? Etc., etc. So, just get the thing up. Here we go. So, composition. I'll say that I took my time killing the CC. As you saw in that video, it's no different in this one. Actually, I might take longer in this one, but it still got done in 2 minutes and 31 seconds. The actual attack itself only takes 1:45 after the CC is done, which is a very fast attack by all standards, especially by Town Hall 9 and up. But in any case, yes, this is what the spell composition looks like. You get 3 heals and you get the 1 jump. One of the heals is going to be for the Valkyries, one of the heals is going to be for the hogs, and the third heal is for sometimes both, usually both, because they tend to meet up halfway or 2/3 of the way through the attack. But whoever you need to keep alive the most by the end of the raid. and then the 2 poison for the CC pull. And we have a golem in the clan castle, and our variable auxiliary unit for this attack is going to be the hogs. It's a mix-up between the hogs and the balloons, depending on the base layout in all things. This one had... it's not as though it was particularly anti-balloon, but because it wasn't anti-hog. The first thing that I noticed down here is that, sure, you've got the heroes, but where are all of the traps between the defenses? You've got nothing. You've got no room for spring traps, no room for giant bombs. The only places they could be are here and here, and knowing people in Clash of Clans, that's going to be his idea of a Tesla moat, because he's not fitting them in there, because that's only one space. You can see the wall tells you how many spaces it is, because when this one starts, the expo starts. So if there's any traps in there, they're either Wii bombs or spring traps, I suppose. This was a fresh attack on the base, so I was just interpreting what the base was presenting to me. I didn't have any scout value going into this attack. But what we want to do to start off the attack is to create our funnel and to use our wall breakers to get in. So what I like to do, this is what the golem is for. The golem goes in first. Actually, why don't we follow along? Why don't we follow along? Oh, yeah, that's right. This guy also didn't like to protect his CC, so this one actually takes a few more resources than I would have liked, but I'm allowed to be meticulous because I've got all the time in the world, and confidence apparently. So the golem goes down, and I make him aim for this part. I make him aim for right here because I want to get in here. I'll explain that in a little bit. I'll explain it right now. Get out of here. The golem is the one that takes up all of the damage. He'll be taking up damage from this thing, from this thing, from this thing, from this thing, this thing. And not from her, though, unfortunately. Oh, also this thing. So you don't want that on your Valkyries because they won't last as long, and they really love to go shopping. So he's going to park here. And the 2 things that I'm worried about that attack him are the wizard tower and the mortar, because each one of them has splash damage that will kill my wall breakers in 1 hit. And that's a very dangerous thing. With mortars, at least you can time it a little bit so that, say, when the mortar ball is like here, for example, then you drop your guys so that by the time they're here, it lands, and then you've got a full, 5 seconds for them to get from here, oh, for goodness sakes, from here to here without any interference, and then they get in the wall. But with someone like the wizard, he shoots much faster, and he still kills the wall breakers in one attack, which makes me very worried. So what I do instead is I drop the golem over here. The wizard tower is going to attack this, the mortar is going to attack this, and the wall breakers are going to go here, because even if this is able to shoot him, the archer tower won't kill him as quickly, and the archer queen will be able to get maybe 1 shot off, but I've brought 4, you see, and for this wall I only need 2, so I'm overcompensating a little bit because I really want to get in there. That's the idea. And then following it, I would like to drop a jumping heal. I would like to drop a jump spell right here so that they can traverse this, this, and this, and this, because that's where all of the defenses that I want to kill are. And down here, on the second phase of the attack, or the third, I suppose, is so easy to kill with hogs. So easy. Because the Valkyries, when they get doing the work, this is all aggroed by our original squad over here with the Valkyries and maybe the Golem if he's still alive, depending on what he's doing, but definitely on the Valkyries. So the only thing that will be shooting at our hogs, at least in the initial drop, are these two. And then we'll be able to drop a heal on the hogs, maybe here, drop a heal on the Valks, maybe here, and then that should take us through at least 60% of the defenses. At least. And after that, the fourth heal is probably going to go, or rather the third heal is probably going to go somewhere around here, and then the base will be done. And then that'll be it. So, how did it go? That's the plan. The reason why I like taking hogs alongside the Valkyries is because once they get to the middle of the base here, once they get in here, they usually end up either here or around here or somewhere like that. And then all of these defenses suddenly start shooting at them. All of the defenses from along all the outside of the base, because we're only able to bring one jump because we have to heal our troops so much because they don't have as much health as they used to. But the way that the Valkyries take the aggro for other more efficient troops to be able to swing through the base, it's like an offensive tank style, which I really enjoy. And I find the Valkyries start to lose a little bit of steam, and then they start getting sort of picked away. It's just too much for a single blob of Valkyries to take out all on its own, especially if they're marching in single file. If they're all going for the same thing, it's typically a recipe for disaster. So I like, or a recipe for a solid 2-star, but that's not what we're going for in Clan Wars, is it? So I like to bring either hogs or balloons, and in this one, it just screams hogs at me, because there's nothing to kill it. It's just perfect. So I make a little bit of a funnel, and this. What is this? Why is this here? Somehow he knew. I don't know that he knew, but he knew. So I spend all of the brain power. Oh, for goodness sakes! I spend all of the brain power putting the golem up here to distract the splash damage, so that they can go over here unscathed. And then there's a giant bomb there, anyways. Shit. Okay, well, plan B, I guess. What I end up doing instead, and this is something that you absolutely have to do if your wall breakers don't get there, you have to move the jump spell from here so that you can have access to the interior of the base. Even if you have to sacrifice some of the interior, you absolutely cannot have your Valkyries go shopping. So I drop it on the outside so that they can have a run of the thing, and then drop all of them, make sure they all get in. The queen goes down immediately. They funnel into the inside of the base, and as everything is still shooting, as soon as the queen goes down, the hogs are in, and the hogs will start doing work. We'll put a heal on them, and because we're healing them, none of the defenses that are shooting at them, for example this one, or the Tesla, well, not that the Teslas would be, but the queen, if she was still alive, none of them will reassign targets because their current targets are still alive, and the heal is making sure of that. So the hogs start putting in work at the bottom part of the base. Yeah, see, there's no bombs in there. Of course, it's the Tesla moat. Valkyries make exceptionally short work of the core. We don't even have to use a heal in there quite yet. I end up using the heal on the hogs because I am afraid of heroes when I'm using hogs. I don't know what it is. I'm just afraid of them. So a bunch of our Valkyries start going shopping. That's fine. That just means the attack will be much quicker than we thought. And because all the bombs are located on the outside, we actually have a run of the place through here, which I thought would be troublesome for the hogs. So that was a breath of fresh air. That was nice to see, and they're one. But yeah, the king was up until very recently. The queen hasn't even used her ability yet. She's still at full health. And that's it. That is how you use GoValks to take out a max Town Hall 9. Now, of course, the heroes aren't 40/40s, but neither are mine. If theirs were 40/40, then mine could be as well. It'd be the same thing. Because, well, my heroes versus their heroes, that's just what happens. And I have so much fun with that attack, just because it happens so quickly, and because nobody expects Valkyries, especially at max Town Hall 9 level. A lot of people are saying they recently became viable. That's not true, actually. They recently got patched. I'm not going to say buffed, I'm going to say patched, because I was tinkering with this attack pre-patch, and it was still working out the same way. I was taking 18 Valkyries instead of the 16, but that's when they had more health, but did a little bit less damage. So it doesn't add anything that it doesn't also take away. They don't last as long, but in turn they also attack faster, which means it takes out more of the damage before it can inflict it on the Valkyries instead. So it's a faster way of staying the same, which complements the reduction from 3 minutes and 30 seconds down to 3 minutes very nicely. And especially when you combo it with the hogs instead of the balloons, because hogs are devilishly quick. And they really know how to work through a defense heavy base, especially one like that we just saw. And when there's a lot of open space, then you just have to sub them out for balloons situationally. Now, of course, it's not something that's going to work on every base. Every base has to be scrutinized independently. But this is an attack that I've had a lot of fun with in the max Town Hall 9 level. Tell me what you think about your experiences with Valkyries, with the way they work, with the way they have worked, if you liked them before, or nobody used them before, let's be honest. Tell me what you think. Tell me how you use them. And as always, guys, we'll see you next year.